Europe has seen a string of terror attacks in the last 1 month. And here's what it proposes to do. It's a radical idea. Europe wants to set up a school for imams, an institute to train Islamic preachers and faith leaders in Europe. In fact, it's a threefold plan. First, train imams at home and certify them. Second, control foreign funding of religious institutes. And third, shut or scrutinize the open borders. The proposal has come from Charles Michel, the chief of the European Council, the man who leads the body that defines the political direction and priorities of the European Union. Now he says a European institute should be set up to train imams.
This is one of the very concrete ideas that I am formulating, this European Institute for the Training of Imams, to make sure that imams are trained in Europe, to make sure that the primacy of civil law is accepted.
Does the idea sound familiar? It should, because it's the second time in a month that it has been floated. The first to talk about it was French President Emmanuel Macron. He wants to end the practice of training imams overseas. He wants France to certify imams. He wants a French council to formalize their training. The question is, why does the government of France want to train imams? Because they see it as a way to tackle radical Islam. This is Emmanuel Macron's playbook, and Europe wants to adopt it. The similarities do not end there. The European Council chief has demanded a crackdown on foreign funding for religious organizations. Again, it's a proposal that Macron has already made. And the EU chief said all of this in the presence of the Austrian Chancellor. He was on a visit to Vienna. European leaders are meeting to discuss the bloc's anti-terror response. And the EU chief did not hesitate in using the word terrorism when he raised the issue of extremist ideologies.
The third element I would like to mention, as Chancellor Sebastian Kurz said, is the importance of fighting extremist ideologies, this violent extremism, hate speech, rejection speeches, which are feeding terror actions. It is very important to be firm on that front.
Qui nourrissent cette action terroriste. Il est très important d'être ferme par rapport à cela.
Europe is finally waking up to the threat of radical Islam, and it's about time. An institute to train imams is only one of the many proposals in the works. The European Union wants increased powers to fight Islamism. A report reveals what's on the mind of European leaders, a draft statement that has specific instructions for the executive arm of the EU. Promote religious education and training of imams within the European Union. The draft includes the idea of warnings for immigrants and asylum seekers. This is a draft statement for Friday, when Home Ministers of the European Union will meet. Terrorism will now top the EU agenda. For the bloc's December summit, EU leaders will debate the issue of religious extremism. The policy of open borders is under the lens too. And yet again, it's Emmanuel Macron who's leading the charge. He wants Europe to rethink the open border Schengen area. The French president says tighter controls are needed to stop clandestine immigration. He said criminal gangs are illegally trafficking migrants into Europe. Often they have links to terror networks, so the European Union must take steps to protect itself.
Les attentats que la France a connus.
The attacks that France has experienced, that Austria experienced a few days ago in Vienna, show us that the terrorist risk is everywhere, that networks are globalized, that terrorists today organize themselves globally through networks on the one hand, the internet and social networks, but also by sending agents across borders. This requires Europe to step up its response. France is doing this on its borders by doubling the forces present. Europe must now do so.
Macron recognizes the terror threat, that is a global threat, and not just limited to one country or region. It is time for the rest of Europe to recognize the same. Thank you for watching Gravitas on WION's YouTube channel. If you want to stay up to date with what's happening around the world, then subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share. Thank you very much for watching WION. World is One.